And we are recording on Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, 9:34 a.m. Eastern Time with Dr. George Fareed, who it's been a minute since you've been on here, but as I was telling you, you are a favorite of my mom's, and I was just scrolling through old episodes last week, and I realized it had been forever since I chatted with you. But the link to your book, you and Dr. Tyson's book, is in the description, as is your Twitter. And for people that may not know you, I think it's how I discovered you through Dr. McCullough, was originally watching your Senate testimony, but because it's a shorter episode today, I'm going to quit yammering and we're going to get as much
Okay.
Dr. Fareed as we can get. So, Dr. Fareed, what's new in your life? What's going on? What is forefront on your mind?
Well, it's forefront on my mind is pursuing truth and doing the right thing that we've tried to do throughout the last 4 years. And we actually, our freedom fighters group, the Global COVID Summit and others, joined forces on Saturday in Rancho Mirage this last weekend at an amazing summit that will be available shortly to watch through the efforts of Brian Tyson, my partner
Hmm.
throughout all of these years, with Brian doing actually organizing the summit. It was on food, family, and medical freedom. And it did deal with uh, vax and also injustices that have been imposed by authorities that don't know what they're doing and didn't have an empathy for the suffering that was going on that we fought against. Um, the There's a great documentary, perhaps you've seen it, Tommy, called "The Epidemic of Fraud."
Hmm.
Have you seen?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, John Davidson, the
Hmm.
producer director of that, was there, and actually, he very graciously tweeted a clip that he's had many clips from it that have been very worthwhile. It's a lengthy hour plus long documentary that deals with the suppression of hydroxychloroquine and the prevention of proper, basically elimination of the pandemic by proper early treatment. But in the clip that he just tweeted, he had a very short episode which I participated in from that uh, Senate hearing where I call out Dr. Jaw, who was the minority witness against Harvey Reich, Peter McCullough, and myself. And in that, I made the comment, just to spontaneously came out, that Jaw sounded like he didn't treat COVID patients or patients in general. But uh, fortunately, Senator Ron Johnson followed up on that and got the question to Jaw about whether he treated COVID patients. And he said, rather embarrassingly, no.
Mm.
And that's what was one of the big problems with the pandemic, was that we were guided by agencies and individuals that didn't really have a um, appreciation for the treatment and the needs of COVID-19 patients. They weren't treating; they were just pontificating and pushing in agendas that were captured agendas primarily. In any case, so that was the biggest thing that I've been involved in recently, is that in that great summit at the in Rancho Mirage in part of Palm Springs with people that I've worked with throughout the pandemic, and that we put our energies into doing what's right and trying to get the truth out continually, and helping our patients and patients around the world. So it's a extension of summits that have gone on throughout the last 4 years. The first of these summits was one that I participated in January of 2021 in Rome,
Hmm.
the first global COVID summit. And in any case, that it brought back memories to me of that. We had people talking about food and family and other topics, not just vaccine injustice. And um, I spoke specifically about a topic that was important to me because of my long career in that I come from the years of the 60s and 70s and 80s. I told everyone that I'm 80 years old, and I'm lucky to be here at 80, but I lived through the genesis of recombinant DNA technology.
Mm-hmm.
And in that era, and I was doing gene therapy focused work. I was trying to at Harvard and subsequently UCLA with, and I discovered the origin of SV40 that
Okay.
now resurfaced. Anyway, do you want me to keep going,
You
or would you
keep
like?
going. Yeah, no. People, myself included, have heard enough of me over the years. I keep
No,
talking.
no, no. Okay. In any case, so my topic was the catastrophic outcome of the pandemic that was what I called the worst possible nightmare for Asilomar 1. And the Asilomar 1 was a conference held in 1975 by very reputable giants of science and in molecular genetics and genetic engineering to determine what the hazards were from recombinant DNA at that era, and also to try to limit what could be done to prevent outcomes that would be devastating. And I knew at that time I lived through that. I was part of that actually. I had a moratorium on my work as a consequence, and it lingered on for several years. But we were very responsible, I thought, and my eyes were shut, I guess, and throughout the next decades. And the Asilomar One conference organized by Nobel Prize winners and eminent scientists, Maxime Singer, Paul Berg, Robin, and others, 4 or 5 others who drafted the agenda, the aim being to try to lift the moratorium. But these people and all the 95 or more others that were in attendance in Asilomar in Pacific Grove, California at that time in February 1975 would never have had such a nightmare. Absolute worst nightmare is the pandemic that
Mm.
Barrick, Dasick, Fauci, Xi created through creating a monster COVID-19 with, as I said, 6 inserts in addition to the furin cleavage site. And I thanked Angus Dalgesh, rather, from Great Britain, and Luc Montagnier, who,
Mm-hmm.
in principle, who Luc being the father discoverer of HIV, and he noted SV40 GP120 sequences in the spike protein. What the hell are they being put there for? Regardless, this monstrous human virus with ability to easily and effectively infect human respiratory epithelium killed 20 million people around the world and resulted in 25 trillion in losses to our world as a consequence. So me and those others in 1975 would never have had a nightmare of that magnitude. Maybe other possible things could have been envisioned, but it's gone far beyond what you could have imaginable. So it was a chance for me to bring back some of the history and then move forward into the 2024 and what we've gone through. It's, and we had great speakers there, just phenomenal uh, uh, presentations from Robert Malone and from Steve Kirsch, Ryan Cole, Sabine Hazen. I can't, and people talking about the carnivore diet
Mm-hmm.
and damages to our food through things that have gone on. But it was broad based, and it lasted until 6 p.m. from 9 to 6 p.m. And the audience of 200 or more stayed on and was captivated throughout and learned a great deal, as did I. So that's the main thing that I'm enthused about now, and I want to get out more of the information that came from that summit. And it was streamed live. I think we had a pretty good online audience that stayed with it. And we had a lot of camaraderie with the group of people that were there.
Hmm.
We were all sitting together and joining in on snacks and things to keep us going throughout the day.
Hmm. And so I think you kind of answered the question I was going to ask just by your general demeanor, but kind of seeing everything in the last really from when COVID started till now, all the interviews you and I have done, which it's documented all this, and all the people you just listed have all been on this show. Ryan Cole, Dr. Hay, she's actually coming on tomorrow. Dr. Hayes and Dr. Hatfield, Dr. Malone, Dr. Book, all of them have been on here multiple times.
Mm.
So I mean, obviously, I'm 47 years your junior, and I'm not a doctor. So aside from that little difference, we've talked to a lot of the same people and witnessed a lot of the same things. There's kind of two ways you can go with this, and both are valid. And I guess it comes down to choice, and choice, I guess, would be a manifestation of deeper and maybe even subconscious preference. Is it optimistic or pessimistic from seeing I've often fallen into the like, oh, it's all so screwed, it's also evil, it's also corrupt. But then through these podcasts I've done and through the people that we've both talked to, I've seen an equal weight on the other side of the scale of like, look how many people are putting their reputations on the line. Look how many people are doing the right thing for no other reason than to do the right thing. Not for money, not for a book deal. Most of them are doing it to detriment. And there are two options and both have water. You can say I've been disillusioned and humanity is evil, and you're not necessarily wrong. You can also look at it and go, I've seen a spark of light and hope and positivity, and you're also not wrong in that. And so it kind of comes down to a preference almost. It's like, do you want to be negative or do you want to be positive? So kind of that whole word salad is where what has this done for you seeing all of this? Is it overwhelmingly negative or is it inspiringly positive?
Well, I say that it's positive for me personally, and it was the most important thing. Early treatment with my partner Brian Tyson during the pandemic and these last years have been the most important part of my whole career. And I sort of reflected upon that during the speech that I gave, and I lauded Brian for his courage and for doing which should have been done prepared, provided for in the future, and that is having fever clinics that are able to handle the volume of patients that we saw. And then he set that up, and I learned from that. Um, and these fever clinics need to be stocked with kits that they can give out to the patients to treat immediately. They should, if it's H1N1, I don't think that's going to come out. That's disease X that they're trying to make us be afraid of. Um, we should have a kit with our protocol is broad spectrum, and it's ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, zinc, vitamin D3, aspirin, and one of the antibiotics, either azithromycin and doxycycline. And those are all generic, inexpensive. Someone could have these fever clinics with these kits on the shelf that they can provide each patient when they come in, and there's no downside from the treatments. Fortunately, they're safe, and then they are effective for
Mm,
probably H1N1 just as they were for COVID-19.
mm,
But Brian showed great courage, and I made the statement of the quote that I think of about courage, and that is that courage is not being afraid. Uh, it's not doesn't mean that you're afraid. It means that you don't let fear stop you,
yeah.
and so that's what we carry forward in what we do.
Yeah, yeah, being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you are scared and you act nonetheless.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah,
And we weren't.
it's
We could have just closed up shop like most doctors did.
sure. Yeah. It's yeah, I
And then
mean, sorry, keep going.
no, I was just thinking back on these years when I I worked as a hospitalist, and I still am the director of a nursing home. No doctors have come back in to pitch in to help out with that. They all ran away during the pandemic when we were fighting outbreaks in the nursing home, and the outcome was good. They're still mandating vaccination if you the public health department here in California in the nursing home population, which many of them declined to accept it, which is good. But regardless, being a hospitalist, I was able to see the suffering that went on and the inadequacy of the protocols, and particularly remdesivir uh, as a catastrophe. And it was so oppressive that I gave up doing that after a few years in 2023. But I saw the whole spectrum of COVID-19, and that I'll never forget. But I have enough to do, so I don't need to be uh, admitting and treating inpatients. And they're still treating with remdesivir of all things. Really shocking.
Regarding the film about hydroxychloroquine, and yeah, I had no idea how long of a history it had, going back to like the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that documentary by John Davidson is superb, and he has a
Yeah.
follow-up to it. You may have seen with it was so favorable for Didier Raoult in France, who's been horribly attacked by these criminal people and the government there, uh, that he was doing something unethical when he was curing people and saving lives that would have saved thousands and thousands others in France if they'd done the right thing. They were all captured, but in any case, DDA actually gave an interview that's another follow-up to that epidemic of fraud that's available. He rarely speaks in English, and he talked about the history of hydroxychloroquine when he discovered that it was effective in the 1990s for Q fever, and that the dosing for that was 600 milligrams daily for 1 year, doxycycline, and none of the patients had side effects or any complications from that. And that achieved a blood level that he documented of 1 microgram per ml in the plasma. That's what's needed is a proper inhibitory concentration by for a COVID or for other viral infections or for this Q fever. So that's what we used in our protocol. 800 milligrams on the first day, and then 600 milligrams on the next 4 days. And the patients did just phenomenally well. But getting back to hydroxychloroquine and the pandemic, I've looked into the history of biowarfare, and
Hmm.
in World War II, the Germans were on the threshold of developing a malaria infestation as biowarfare,
Hmm.
and they didn't reach that point, thank goodness. But the biowarfare is the root of the whole problem. That they get obsessed with creating something that's extraordinarily dangerous, and then they call it countermeasures to vaccines and
The sword and
that
the
don't
shield.
work. Yeah, and so we can the millions that suffered and died have to be respected, and the people that pursued this, so to speak, Department of Defense and the bio warfare industry is got to be curtailed tremendously. I don't know if that can be accomplished. That's the pessimistic side
Yeah.
of this for me.
Yeah, and that's where I go too. It's like it's all well and good that a lot of people did the right thing, but then there's also the fear of like, yeah, but no one was punished. Like no one,
Well,
there was no retribution,
you know,
and that can
well,
be disheartening.
history will punish them, and for whatever that's worth. These
Sure.
people plundered our treasuries and energies, and they'll go on and like they did after World War II, and many will get by and live out their lives in infamy.
Yeah, it's in the last 5 minutes or so, could you touch on what disease X is hypothesized to be, and what exactly do you think it will look like?
Well, it's hypothetical. I think we don't know what it will look like. They want to make you think with the
Hmm.
WHO and the UN. They want to take over powers that will control us by having disease X and they're engineering, unfortunately, H1N1, surfacing it, and their labs, just like in the University of North Carolina and Ralph Barrick, engineering COVID-19. Uh, they want to, they may have an accident from what they're doing, but they're making it more infectious in the lab.
Hmm.
And so it may look like another respiratory pandemic or epidemic, pandemic. And so but it may be something else. It's not determined as yet, but if in fact they can achieve um, the realization of something of that nature, they hope they can get these arduous uh, uh, laws, so to speak, passed for their future and controlling the world. So we have to fight against that, and that we have in our global global COVID summit, global health organization, Kat Lindley leading us, and she was there and spoke beautifully about this at the summit on Saturday. So that's what disease acts may be just something along the lines of what we dealt with COVID-19.
It's also kind of the whole like there's nothing new under the sun. Like COVID wasn't the first form of corruption, let alone in medicine, just at all, and it won't be the last. What we saw was it's it's going to it's going to the gym. Every day I wake up and go to the gym. There's never a day where I finally did the 10,000th workout and I go, now I'm finished. And it's you stop and you'll slowly start atrophying muscle and probably gaining weight and your bones will get weaker. It's a thing you just do for every day you get up and you go to war with gravity and fatigue. And it's just what you do. And one day you die, but whatever. But you go in and you fight every day and there's nothing new under the sun. That's I kind of feel like that's maybe what we're seeing. It's like, COVID, it's disillusioning, it's pessimistic, and then you see all the good people, all the saints and the angels kind of standing up and doing the right thing, and it's like, all right, well, it was bad, but then it's good, but you can't be surprised, and then disease X rolls around. Like, you thought it was going to stop? Like, why would it stop? Right? I mean, it's sure we have World War I and World War II, but those are names we gave them. They were still just wars. There was a war before them, and for all of human history. And it's not ending now. Oh, we got out of the war on terror. It's okay, but now we're in Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan. And what about when that's all done? In 100 years, we'll be doing another war, and then I don't know, we'll be in space when we
Right.
fight an
I
alien.
know
It
it's
goes forever. There's nothing new under the sun. So it's kind of a when you examine that, you have to go, and so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go, oh, I can never actually finish a workout, or do you go, I'm gonna wake up and I'm just gonna go get after it every day because I would much rather do that than capitulate. And I think
absolutely very well stated,
I think
Tommy.
that's kind of what it is,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
would agree with you. Could I just at the end state
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just want to make people aware that the the videos of the summit from Saturday, the um, Family Food and Medical Freedom Conference in Rancho Mirage is going to be available soon, maybe today or tomorrow, at the website tysonmedicalfoundation.org.
I will put that in the description.
tysonmedicalfoundation.org.
Why,
O-R-G.
why am I writing it down? I can just okay, just go get the link. Tyson Medical.
Foundation.org. O-R-G. I hope that's correct.
Yep,
Good.
I'm gonna put
And
that in
and
the
you should
description.
you should have Brian again on it.
I will. Yeah, I absolutely will. Yep. Ping him for me. Tell him he's coming on my show. Don't give him an
All
option.
right, I shall.
What is it? Food, family, and what's the last
Medical
one?
freedom.
Medical freedom. Watch the food and medical freedom videos and All right, the link is in there. Then I'll update the Rumble thing. But Dr. Fried, as I told you beforehand, I'm an idiot and I don't know how to schedule podcasts, so I have a ton right
No,
on top of each other, and I'll never
so
learn.
great to be with you, Tommy, and look forward to the next time.
You too, Dr.
Stay well.
Fried. Yeah, and by the way, we can always do it. Like I think the last time we did, we don't always have to tackle medicine. We can tackle you are for a lot of people that
Okay,
don't
we've
know,
frozen.
you're a globetrotter. You're all over the world going on awesome vacations. I mean, yeah,
I had some great trips. I was lucky, but the top one was East Africa
yeah,
last September.
yeah.
Rwanda and Kenya, and the Great Migration, and the mountain gorillas, and the volcanic mountain range in Rwanda.
I think
That was the top of my trips.
I'm still jealous of the Arctic one. It might be because I like the cold, but
The
that was the
Antarctica.
Antarctic. Excuse me, not
Yeah,
Arctic. Antarctic.
that's
Excuse
okay.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, that was where the second best trip that we
yeah,
went
that was a cool one too. Yeah, so it doesn't always have to be
on.
the medical bio elite are demons from hell and they're trying to kill us. Like, okay, well we can do that too, but it's also like you can also just it's a good positive switch to be like, and look at how beautiful the earth is. So like we can do that
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we all have to do is to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
back
Yeah.
and
I
make
try to
it
do that
better.
every day. I do
Mhm.
podcasts and they can be negative, and I have to stop and just kind of go sit on my porch and I look at the clouds moving by and the water is shimmering out on the bay, and I'm like, yeah, don't let it rob your happiness. Don't let it rob the joy of life. But we got to wrap this up. I have to let you
Okay.
go. So,
Thank you
Dr.
so
Freed,
much.
thank you so much as always, and I look forward to the next one, sir.
Me too. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, sir.
Here,
Guys, thank
hey,
you